falling away now? Or is it more and more that the church is growing more to a restoration of its roots? Many believe 1901 Azusa Street was a restoring of the church back to its charismatic, its Pentecostal, spirit baptism roots. Now there is a Hebraic roots renewal of the church coming back to its Jewish roots. We are, especially as Gentiles, have become arrogant against the Jews. We have seen as replacing them. But Paul says in Romans 11, particularly verse 17, we've been grafted in. We are a wild olive branch grafted into a cultivated olive tree. And we're not to boast against that. And I think this is where the church has gotten high-minded and seen itself replacing Israel. Let Israel go through it. We're not a part of that. But clearly, the church, us Gentiles, have been grafted in the people of God. And while we may not be Jews, spiritually a Jewish Messiah lives in us. And we are to love those people. And who is going to preach? How are we going to have 144,000 Jews preaching the gospel if God just takes us all away? Some things just don't make sense. Keep in mind this: if we do have to go through the tribulation, I see a Passover paradigm in the book of Revelation. What do you mean? A Passover paradigm? Talking about what God did for the Israelites in Egypt by protecting them in Goshen. I don't believe that will happen for everybody, because there are going to be many, number that no man can number, that will come out of great tribulation who's been beheaded for the testimony. But I believe that God is able to keep many. He's never taken his people out of the storm. He's never taken his people out of the trouble. He's always taken them through. Always taken them through. There's only been a couple that have been taken out, but it wasn't because of a storm. It wasn't because of a trial. He didn't take Enoch because of tribulation. He didn't take Elijah because of tribulation. He didn't take Moses because of tribulation. Think about that. God has never promised to take us out of something that he's going to have a glorious, glorious, glorious return for. It's not going to be so secret that the world won't know. They'll know. The problem is, will you be deceived? Will you believe the dispensational scheme of things that does not add up? Or will you believe the word? The problem is that I think the dispensation has been, and the preacher of rapture has been so ingrained in people's minds that when they do see Antichrist appear, that they would fall away first. There's this falling away. Because, you know why? They say this whole rapture thing didn't happen. The Bible ain't true. And they'll mock and scoff about the coming of the Lord, which Peter talks about. I think they alluded to this. Open your eyes, search the scriptures. You have a blessed